Hey guys, this is Danks87. Today I'm going to be showing you my Temporal Rift Gun. This is a power-up that allows you to shoot at walls and it takes them out of phase so that you may pass through them. I think this could be a really powerful tool to use in your levels. You could make some really good puzzle levels with this, or even better cinematic levels. It would be quite a cool space type mission. The creator will decide what can be taken out of Rift and what can't, so it's completely powerful in the way that you have complete control over it. Okay, so what you're going to need is a impact sensors, occupancy tweaker, destroyer, physics tweaker, tag, timer, emitter, blaster handle, and broadcast microchip. Okay, so first what we're going to do is create a projectile. Now, from what you saw earlier, the light beam is actually a complete illusion. That doesn't actually do anything. What it actually is a small little bullet that fires out that you cannot see. So we're going to create an object that is invisible, and then we're going to place on a microchip. And inside this microchip we want an impact sensor. We want this as a generic impact sensor, and then we want a timer, and we want this timer to be set to 0.1 and a count up timer. Then we want to attach our impact sensor into our count up timer and make sure it's reset. Then we want our destroyer, and then we want to attach our timer into our destroyer. Want your destroyer's effect to be disappear. Then attach your timer into your destroyer. Next up we're going to put a tag, and we're going to call this tag Temporal Shot. So we're going to leave it as green, and we're going to give it a label of Temporal Shot. That is it for our invisible bullet. Next up we're going to move on to our power-up. I'm going to make it as basic as I can, so it's literally going to be a handle with a blaster handle on it. Obviously design is completely up to you. Okay, so I'm just going to pop the blaster handle onto the handle of the gun, and I'm going to want the handle to be gripped. Then inside here we're going to want a timer, that is a countdown timer of around 0.3. Then we want to put our trigger into the input of the countdown timer. Next up we want a emitter. We want the emitter settings to be around 15 velocity. Ignore our velocity, emit only once, and to emit a maximum of 1. Then we want to emit our invisible bullet. So we go up to the top and we select our bullet. You want this to be in line with your gun and slightly forward. We put the output of the timer into the input of the emitter, and that's it for our gun. We're going to place a broadcast microchip, so I usually place it on something invisible so it can't be seen in game. Then we want it to be a tagged broadcast microchip of green, and we want it as obstacle. Then we want all in range, so we want to maximum detection and all the layers. And inside this broadcast microchip we're going to put another microchip, not a broadcast microchip, a normal microchip. Okay, so inside this microchip we want our occupancy tweaker. Around 30% is good. You need a little bit of fade time. Then we want our physics tweaker, and you want the physics to be set to off. Now all we need is an impact sensor, this impact sensor needs to be set to touching and a tag that is green and temporal shot. We need to place down 2 timers with the impact sensor going into the first timer, that timer then going into the second timer, and the last timer going into the activation of the microchip and the reset of the first timer. The first timer then needs to be set to 0.1 and a count up timer. The second timer is how long it will be phased for, so I go with about 5 seconds, but it's completely up to you, and you want that to be a countdown timer. The longer this timer takes, the longer the wall will become phased. Lastly, any wall, object or anything you want that you can put into Temporal Rift with the player shooting at it, you put on a tag, and this tag should be green and obstacle. So I want this wall, this wall, this wall and this wall. Then we just save our power up as a power up, and I'm going to have it emitted from my pedestal. And now when I shoot at the wall becomes out of phase. Now it's up to you how you make it look. Went with quite a simple spotlight, and that's it. Well, thanks for watching guys, keep tuned for more and don't forget to subscribe. Cheers.